Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Wednesday, April 2nd. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. When residents in Merced County got wind of possible changes coming to their library system, they quickly mobilized.
A vendor gave him an elevator pitch of sorts, saying that they'd be able to save them money by cutting down costs and privatizing the library.
We will unpack the story that comes with several twists and turns, but first, a check of other news making headlines. A Fresno State professor is facing online pushback over a post about President Trump. Online users surfaced a manipulated Instagram photo that the professor posted in early January. The photo shows President Trump inside a coffin with the Bushes, Obamas, and Clintons smiling over him. Fresno State has denounced the social media post in a statement to the media. The San Joaquin Valley has the lowest ratio of doctors to patients in the entire state. A new bill co-authored by Democratic Representative Jim Costa of Fresno is aiming to change that. KVPR's Joshua Yeager reports.
Congressman Costa's proposal would bring federal grant funding to the valley and other underserved areas to create new doctor training programs and expand existing ones.
My mother once told me as a young boy that if you don't have health, you don't have anything. Well, without the properly trained men and women in our healthcare facilities, it is going to be a real challenge.
Healthcare leaders in the San Joaquin Valley say training locals to become the next generation of doctors is critical. Data suggests most doctors stay where they finish their residencies. Dr. Margot Venner is the Director of Medical Education at UC Merced.
The clock is ticking and we don't have enough time for the future. We need those doctors now, and that's why this effort's important.
Costa's bill is still in committee. It'll need approval from both chambers of Congress before becoming law. For KVPR News, I'm Joshua Yeager in Bakersfield.
A Fresno school district is taking proactive steps in the face of heightened immigration enforcement in the central San Joaquin Valley. Esther Quintanilla with our news partner, the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, reports.
Central Unified is one of the fastest growing school districts in the region. It serves a widely diverse immigrant community, including families with Latino, Punjabi, Hmong, and Arabic backgrounds. The District Board of Trustees recently voted to be more vigilant when federal immigration officers are near campuses. It'll do so through an emergency notification blast to its community. The protocol will kick in when ICE agents or federal officers are spotted on district property, school campuses, or bus stops. It also provides a way for the district to combat rumors and speculation of immigration enforcement in communities, and distribute accurate and verified information to families who might be affected. The new measure is in step with the district's existing policy called Safe Learning for All, which ensures schools remain safe places for students and families without legal status. For CVJC, I'm Esther Quintanilla.
Arvin city leaders are trying to figure out how to move forward with a vacant council seat. The current council was recently split on whether to hold a special election. Arvin Mayor Olivia Calderon tells KVPR that keeping the seat vacant for another year isn't an option.
I support a special election, and I support a special election as soon as possible because the challenges we're dealing with are great, and we can be in a situation where we're deadlocked when we have very sensitive and urgent matters before us.
A recent Kern County grand jury report warned against appointing a council member over electing them. The two council members who voted to delay the special election argued that the city can't afford it and questioned the safety of a strictly mail-in ballot election.
Raise a glass with KVPR, Sunday afternoon, May 4th, for KVPR's wine tasting and more, featuring fine wines from California and beyond, local craft beer, delicious food, live music, and a silent auction, all on the amazing grounds of the Lester Estate in Fresno, where Van Ness Extension meets the San Joaquin River. All proceeds benefit KVPR, so purchase your tickets today at kvpr.org/wine.
And now to our main story. In recent weeks, residents in Merced County mobilized to call on county leaders to protect their public libraries. It wasn't because of any state or federal policy targeting libraries or because books were being banned, but rather residents were abuzz about a rumor that the county's libraries were being privatized. This quickly hit social media. Elected leaders later heard directly from residents themselves through phone calls, letters, and online messages. But Merced County supervisors insisted privatization of county libraries was not happening. The county's Facebook page went so far this week as to post that to their page. They wrote the county never intended to close libraries, never stated it would reduce library services or budgets, and that there were no such plans scheduled on the county agenda for discussion. But this statement from the county came after community outcry. During all of this, reporter Rachel Livinal was looking into the privatization claims and found there were conversations had with county staff about the idea. Rachel reports for KVPR and for the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. She joins me now to further discuss how the public became involved.
So it started with an email sent by Susan Walsh. She's the president of the Friends of the Libraries. She said there was going to be a proposal presented at the Board of Supervisors meeting about a week ago. Then Merced County Times posted an article about it on Facebook, and it just blew up from there on social media.
A lot of people weighing in.
Yes, a lot of people weighing in. There were over 100 comments, tons of likes and reactions. It was crazy.
So initially, though, the Merced County officials denied that claim, though, that they were going to privatize the libraries, right?
Yeah, so Supervisor Josh Pedrozo said at a board meeting and later at a town hall that nothing was going to happen. Prior to that, the county released a statement saying that that was never going to happen. Pedrozo said there would be no privatization and that the proposal was all a rumor, but there was some truth to it that we found out later.
Yeah, I look forward to digging into that. But first, during your reporting, you spoke with Merced County Supervisor Scott Silvera. What did you hear from him?
Yeah, so that was some of the truth that we found out. He said it started with a conference that he went to for the county. A vendor gave him an elevator pitch of sorts, saying that they'd be able to save them money by cutting down costs and privatizing the library. They had some briefings and compared budget numbers. He said there will likely be another briefing for him, but he called everything like a nothing burger. So he didn't think the deal was viable or that it would move forward.
Okay, so why did all of this start and why are people so passionate about it, do you think?
Well, there is a long-standing trend of mistrust in county officials to protect the library because of the history of the county. In 1993, they shut down the whole branch to save on money. They were the only county to do so in the state, and then 2 decades later, they closed several branches in rural areas, and they replaced them with a bookmobile, which is like a remote kind of bus that has internet access and books. There was also talk a few years ago from the sheriff to close the library to get more money for the police department. This all leads to fears from residents that the library is just constantly under threat.
I know Merced County has been having some financial issues even in other areas. Last fall, we spoke to Merced Focus reporter Brianna Vicari about a ballot initiative last November that would have implemented a new tax to help fund the sheriff's and fire departments. That proposal did fail, but do you think that has an impact on why county officials were even looking into this?
Yeah, I think that was why the sheriff mentioned it a couple years ago. That was when public safety was a big topic. Now I think they're always looking at things to trim. So last year, the county projected a hole of more than $6 million. They were able to fill that hole, but they're always worrying about costs from state mandates, and there's a higher cost of living now. So they're always looking for ways to save.
KVPR reporter Rachel Livinal, thank you so much for breaking this down for us.
Thanks, Liz.
Merced County officials have reiterated that they currently do not plan on implementing alternative models to run the county's libraries. KVPR will continue to cover this story as it develops. And that's today's show. We want to hear from you. Is there a story in your community you think is worth sharing? Let us know. Email podcast@kvpr.org. Today's episode was produced by Jonathan Linden, our intern Samantha Rangel, and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
This is Tanya Mosley, co-host of Fresh Air. You'll see your favorite actors, directors, and comedians on late-night TV shows or YouTube. But what you get with Fresh Air is a deep dive. Spend some quality time with people like Billie Eilish, Questlove, Ariana Grande, Stephen Colbert, and so many more. We ask questions you won't hear asked anywhere else. Listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.